Hello everyone and welcome to Live at 12:45. I'm Kristen Bomis and with me today is Reina, and we're going to be talking about a woman's life. As we honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're coming at this from a very, very different perspective. We're looking at what is going on in a woman's life. How are we taking care of ourselves? How are we taking care of our health? What does it mean to us? And so I invited Reina because she's got a wonderful story. It's again unique to her, and we're going to learn a lot about her career, her life, and where she is today taking care of herself. So Reina, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for the
invite. So
invite.
happy to have you. Tell everybody a little bit about how you got started in career and stuff for right now.
Well, this is a never-ending journey. It's been a lot of hard work of trying to figure out what my art was and who I was, working hard through school, and then ended up using none of my degree, but really falling in love with the industry of digital marketing and following that to the end. I don't think I'm even close to the end of that journey.
Not at all. It's the beginning. And you know, when she was in college as a full-time student, going through, you know, we all have our personal lives on top of it, right? But on top of all of that, she owned her own business. So what a cool thing. We talk about the strength of a woman, but here she is. She is absolutely sitting next to me. Tell them what it was like to be in school full-time and own your own business, and to also put together this whole concept of, once I graduate, how am I going to take all of these multiple interests, even though they're all creative, how are we going to wrap it all together?
Right. I think I just told you, I was always told pick one thing and stick with it, and my brain just would not let me. So anything I was interested in, whether it had to do with what I was going to school for or not, I was dedicating myself to diving in and learning. And it was all part of the journey. Then how do I take this and wrap it all together? How do I become better at it? And it just taught me a lot of necessary skills that gave me a little bit of expertise, and led me to this position now where I can be of greater service and value to my current clients who are going through something that I had gone through as a pseudo-entrepreneur and adventurer.
Absolutely. So here you are today, and you're in a fantastic position. She's absolutely fantastic at what she does, and she's a joy to work with professionally and personally, and I highly recommend BMG Creative if you're interested in any marketing, because she's really just a joy to work with. So you have brought a lot to my life and to your own life. What do you do on a daily basis to make sure you're taking care of you?
Yeah. Well, first, the only thing that really makes me happy is being able to do all these things that my brain is saying go do. And being a position like mine in this business, having a wonderful and new relationship that I like to dedicate all my time to, who comes with two beautiful boys that I like to be a part of. And the only way to juggle that and all the things that I want to do, to include even remembering to shower and putting on some makeup, is clearing space out of my heart and soul of nonsense, conflict, resolving them quickly, not picking my battles, not digesting things that hurt me, but speaking up about it in a kind way immediately and resolving it there on the spot. I find that if I don't have these harboring bad feelings, I have a lot of extra space that give me energy to do a lot of other things that I want, instead of being depressed in bed, upset, and mind elsewhere.
That's a great topic. So I'm just going to kind of play with that for a little bit. So I want to thank Valentina and Bentley and Melissa and Kay, everybody for joining us today. Thank you for being with us. So let me say something about that. So here is Reina talking about one of the things that she does for herself is she removes that negative energy. She moves any of the what I call fear-based emotions out of her life quickly, resolving conflict quickly, making sure she's speaking her truth when something is bothering her, making her joyous. She's coming from that experience and she's putting it out there. As women, that becomes really important. You've heard me say many times on Facebook Live that women have been trained to not have a voice and to not speak up. But now we're speaking up in many ways. And as we have a voice, we're clearing that energy within us that is powerfully hurtful to our health. When we're living in a state of silence, keeping our self to ourselves, and we aren't removing ourselves from conflict, that throws our body off balance. And when our body is off balance, of course we know that sends more free radicals into our bloodstream, and more free radicals into our bloodstream, that's the food for the cancer cells. So it becomes really an interesting twist for women, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing this month, for women to talk about their lives and what we're doing to take care of ourselves in these crazy busy lifestyles that we've taken on over time. So here you are, you've done a great job. You really do make sure you resolve conflict, you move away from that stuff, and that's a real critical piece to keeping a healthy blood flow. And a healthy blood flow is going to also nix out those irregular cells that our body is producing on a daily basis. So what do you do on a daily basis other than that? Do you do anything physical to take care of yourself, nutritionally? What do you find yourself doing?
I should be more active.
There's an expectation.
So I wear high heels for my calves every day, and I take the stairs instead of the elevator. That's the extent, except for when I feel like, okay, I really got it, I'm going to go for a run. Then I impress myself, but it's never, I can't sustain it. And so actually my partner has a wonderful diet. He tends to go towards paleo and keto, and he's the cook in our family. So I eat very healthy.
Great.
Avoiding carbs, which is my Achilles heel.
Yes.
Lots of sweet potatoes and lots of protein. That's where it is.
Yeah. I know. It's really, it is truly a time to really look at your diet, look at how you're doing things, and make sure that what you're putting into your body is serving your body. And as women, that becomes important. When we were talking earlier, you made a mention that I want to bring back up, that you feel your body, that you can feel some stuff going on. So what were we talking about when that came up? Do you remember? You had a little bit of a scare.
I did, and there's so many people that have a real breast cancer scares. I haven't talked about this because I feel in a sense it's a little disrespectful. I don't want to wear the badge.
No.
But
No.
I was experiencing lumps of cysts, which I think are, and what I came to find out, are very, very,
Very
common. But I've always been invincible. And I still kind of have that mentality. But I remember laying there and crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am not untouchable, and like, what happens to me? What is my legacy? And I came to terms with, well, if I have to go, I have to go, and what that does to your brain is crazy. But I actually released the control of my own life, which actually disappointed me in myself. So I followed through, and I got the mammograms and paid the medical bills. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the medical bills.
That's crazy. Took time out of work to do that, and I found out that all is good. It's nothing uncommon. It's something that happens with my hormones, and right around my time of month or whenever it decides to pop up, and to not be scared. It just wasn't enough for me, though. I still am so cautious. So now I wish that I sort of had more advice on how often I should go, what is this indicative of if it's not full-blown cancer right now? What are my answers? Because all I see is kind of these scare tactics, commercial scare tactics, and not a lot of educational pieces that are in my face the way that the commercial stuff is in my face.
Right. And I love a couple things that you've said here. Number one, inadvertently, you didn't want to share it because you didn't want to wear the badge. It's not a badge. It's women coming together in unity. There is no badge. There is an understanding that some of us, I've lost family members to breast cancer, and there are some people who make it through, and some people who don't, some who get it, some who don't. The question is, as women, how do we embrace our health? How do we really wear the badge of woman first and start to really walk arm in arm and help each other understand what is the best thing? And the second thing you said is, what's out there? We're told all these fear and what we do once we have it, and how we're going to do it once we're sick. But what about how we stay healthy? And so the crux of what we're looking at over the course of this month is one woman at a time. How do we reach out and talk to one another? And if I can teach you one thing today, and if you can teach me one thing today, then as women we have started to unite in the name of health and not just awareness, in the name of making a forcing a cure and not laying back and doing everything that we're told to do without really getting in there and saying, okay, I want to learn more. I want to know more for me. And it's something that we want to have a voice about. We want to unify around. We want to embrace and support, and not feeling like we can't tell our story because we're not wearing a badge.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
It's so helpful to the many women who have gone through exactly what you've gone through. And I think a lot of women have gone through that, and we don't want that fear to linger in us. We want to understand those differences. So tell me, do you get thermograms?
You know that I only just heard of the word on your last live episode. I did not research it, but I'm intrigued.
So the thermography is, as I brought it up last week, something I'd like each woman to look into. It does detect any sort of irregular cancerous growth in your breast tissue. It can detect it 2 to 5 years prior to a mammogram. And it is not invasive at all, and it absolutely has no radiation at all. And so I think it's really important. It's one little thing that we can do to start to educate ourselves on some truly preventive measures, and to really start to look at what we can do to take care of ourselves and make our own decisions for our own bodies. We know we've all been asking for that. Now, Valentina's asking a question. Let me see what she's asking. Excuse me. So yes. So it really is an interesting, piece that we as women don't have so many answers that we need, right?
And I'm a don't talk about it because I didn't suffer.
Right.
And so that
There's
almost
that
puts
voice.
me in a position to ask when it's too late.
Right.
Right?
It's never too late.
So thanks for this opportunity.
So I want to thank you with all of my heart. I think that the fact that you took the risk and had the courage to take the risk to share your story, knowing that underneath it you felt that you might be judged for doing it, and what an honor. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure the people out there learning are also, really appreciating the fact that you took that risk, because so many women have had that scare. And what can we do between cystic fibrosis and things going on inside our breast, fibrotic cysts, I mean to say, and what we can do to bridge that gap and have a healthier breast, and make sure that we're living within the world of good nutrition and taking care of self. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. I look forward to having you join us throughout this month as we interview women and talk to them about their lives, the craziness of a woman's life, the voice of a woman, and learning to unify as women as we fight one woman at a time to have the world look for the cure and not just the research.